Listen, I know you're not ready to hear this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. When a narcissist decides to discard you, the last person they're thinking about is you. They're not thinking about your feelings. They're not thinking about how this will make you feel. They're thinking about their next victim. They're thinking about how they took everything you had to offer. They're done with you. And now they need to go find somebody else. Because they're running out of something. Something you have nothing left to provide them because they took it all. And now where are you? You're in the depths of despair, trying to figure your life out, maybe for the first time by yourself in a long time. They planned this. I know you don't want to hear that, but they planned this to go exactly how it's going. And they planned on breaking you exactly how they're breaking you. But the good news is this won't last forever. The last laugh will be on them. Because one of these days their juice will run out. And one of these days you will soak in everything this world has to offer. And you will be back. And you will be better than ever. As they continue to waffle around life, looking for something that's just never going to be there. Because they're insecure.
Hey everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. She Rises Again. My name is Jaslyn. Today we're going to talk about getting discarded by narcissists. First off, getting discarded by a narcissist is no joke. It's like they snatched your heart and left you hanging, wondering if you'll ever be good enough again. Narcissists have this slick way of making you feel like you're their everything. And then boom, they flip the script on you. 1 minute, you're their queen, and the next is like you don't even exist. It's wild. It's really wild how fast they can switch it up and leaves you feeling straight up lost. So now let's watch some of these videos and hear from other people who have been going through the same mess. And after these videos, I will give my commentary. So let's get into it.
Anybody who walks out of your life after pouring into them emotionally, after you give an inordinate amount of grace and effort, after you go to extreme lengths to try to make them feel comfortable based on their past, never plan to stick around anyway. You were just a means to an end. And when I say end, I mean while building with you, their insecurities kept shouting to them that they never deserved you. And you know something? You felt that in your soul, didn't you? That you were taking on a fucking charity case, that you were trying to build somebody up who didn't believe in their own damn selves, or at the very least gave the perception that they did. And is that your job? To be out here building up a whole ass grown man or woman? I thought your job was to build together in a relationship. Heal together. Feel safe in each other's energy. Not constantly have to prove yourself, yet they left you for somebody else, cheated on you during the relationship, and had you feeling like a whole ass fool for how they discarded you in the end. But all those insecurities they harbor, all the reasons they gave you that you weren't enough, were all projection and fear. And it ain't your job to be out here proving you a real one. That was already shown through your love, through your consistency, and your actions backing up your words. So let them live with whatever fucking perception, regret, insecurity that they need to. Because your focus is on you and letting go of someone who never valued themselves, let alone you.
If you got brutally discarded by a narcissist for somebody else, you know the fate of that new supply. It's human nature to feel envious and jealous of the new person, because what if the narcissist all of a sudden changed and is better for that new person, and really you were the problem and you were just being toxic? Really? You were not the problem. What kind of miracle turnaround happened in between you and this person that they left you for? First of all, they were probably cheating on this new person with you, and cheating on you with this new person. Let's just get that out of the way. Second, narcissists don't change. You were doing the best you could in an impossible situation that the narcissist crafted that was nothing but chaos and drama. This next person is going to be discarded just like you were. It's not if, it's when. You should really, if anything, be keeping this new supply in your thoughts and prayers. You know what their fate is.
When the narcissist discards you and they move on to the supply that they've been texting and talking to behind your back for the last several weeks to a few months, it's not because they like this person more than you. Okay? And that's very real. Narcissists really don't like themselves, and their number one fear is being alone. They cannot stand to be alone, because then they would be forced to talk to the 15 demons that they're battling every single day. They would be forced to deal with it, and they're afraid. I made a video before about how empaths are stronger than narcissists. There is a relationship between empaths and narcissists. Narcissists are drawn to empaths. They're drawn to that light because they are living in darkness. The sole objective is to bring you into the darkness. And so if you sit there and continue to entertain this person, if you sit and continue to obsess over why they're moving on so quickly after you, then you too will eventually fall into that dark place. And that is exactly what they want. We are dealing with spiritual warfare. Okay? And these are not just the human that you're dealing with. We're talking about demons, legions of them. I'm going to tell you something that's deep. If you don't believe me, but I'm going to tell you something that's really deep. I woke up one night to my narcissistic ex of 15 years. I looked into that man's eyes and they were pitch black, and I knew right there and then God allowed me to see what I was dealing with. He showed me the demon that I was dealing with. Pray and ask God to show you exactly who that individual is, so that he can show you the demonic energy that you're sleeping with at night, that you're crying over, the demon. If this person can remove their mask and you can see how evil and ugly they truly were, I bet you wouldn't care about the next supply. You'd probably be praying the blood of Jesus over them, because you know what kind of demon and monster they're dealing with. If this individual took their mask off and you saw Freddy Krueger, would you be crying over him? Because that's what you're dealing with.
Feelings of anger and rage is justified. My DMs have been filled with people who have basically all been through the same thing. They were with someone that they trusted, that they completely gave all of their love to. They gave them second chances, third chances. They tolerated that person cheating on them, messaging other people, whatever the case may be. And they all ended up with the same result. They were discarded for someone else. And I can tell you that this was bound to happen. But if you're someone that's been going through this and people are in the comment section saying, hey, you shouldn't be feeling this way, your feelings of anger and rage is justified. So if you feel like you need my platform to go ahead and vent, hey, feel free, be my guest. But I will tell you though, at some point you have to get to the root of why you chose this person and why you continue to choose these type of people to stick around in your life.
If you stay too long in a relationship with a narcissist and you go through the entirety of the devaluation and discard phase, you will see depravity like you never have before. Because you are literally going to see exactly who that person is without the mask on. The mask slips over time, and it gets lower and lower and lower until they just rip it off and stop trying. Because it's very difficult to keep up a facade. It's difficult to keep up the lies and the appearances that they are a good person, because they don't actually believe anything that they are saying. Just like young children, they are able to mirror their victims, and they're able to mirror good behavior or good traits, but they don't actually believe them. It's just like I tell my 5-year-old who is on the spectrum. If you are not sorry in your heart, I don't want to hear an apology, but you can at least acknowledge that you were wrong. Narcissists are never sorry in their hearts. Now, my 5-year-old possesses some form of empathy, so even if she's not initially sorry in her little heart, she always comes around and feels that remorse and that guilt. And giving her the tools to be able to at least acknowledge that what she did was wrong and process that in her head so that those feelings of sorry in your heart can come after seem to be working very well with the child. But narcissists, they don't miss that step. They do not ever feel sorry in their heart. And if they even do, for a fleeting moment of time, it is not very long, because they will know that they did wrong. They will know by society standards, by relationship standards, by commitment levels, by legal standards, what they did was wrong when they do these behaviors. And they might feel sorry in the moment, but then they will justify it based off of what the other person did because facts are feelings to them. Normal people are able to adjust their feelings to fit facts. Narcissists adjust facts to fit their feelings at all times. And like I said, context is never a thing with them. So they can't look at what occurred or their part in it as to why you might have some issues, because in their head, it is just black and white. You were wrong. You made them do it. And once the discard phase comes in, they have no earthly desire to portray themselves as anything but what they really are. Because they be out there with their new supply, with the mask fully on, trying to solidify that with somebody who has no idea who they are. At the very end of the discard phase, in the last thing that this man ever said to my face in a private conversation, I asked him if it was worth it, losing his family and the 4 people that loved him. Keep in mind, 3 of those were children. He looked at me and said, 4 people that love me or 4 people that just used me. And that validated what we always were to him.
The narcissist discard. I think it is the most betraying, confusing, painful experiences someone can have from somebody that they love. Usually days before you're still the love of their life, or they're still giving you affection and attention. Mine was weeks before professing his love for me on Facebook, telling me how he needed to be a better man on a Bible app that we were doing. 5 days before he threw me away like I was nothing, we made love all day and I was the woman of his dreams. Not realizing that slowly over time, months before this, he was having me close my checking account because he was guilting me that I was hiding money. Meanwhile, he was putting money towards his private credit cards. And then, of course, the night of the fight, I was being ridiculous, of course. My outbursts were the reason for all of this. And then 3 days later, my husband sends me a text message that he's going to sleep in the room downstairs and that the following day he'd be moving out. Of course, when I confronted him the following day, everything was my fault. I never met any of his needs and I needed to give him space. And then he moves out and blocks his wife on Facebook. Then other women are starting to like his shit on Facebook. And then I confront him about it, and of course, I'm crazy. And just for confronting him, I never respected him or gave him his space. Basically telling me to leave him alone and try not to have any real conversations. Then days would go by and he'd come over at the house and sit on the couch like everything was fine. And then when I would want to talk to him, then he would outburst and leave. Then I would get mad and I would want my space and I would leave him alone. And then days later, he would send me a meme or thinking of you text. Weeks and weeks of push-pull. And then pressure to sell the house weeks before Christmas because he didn't have a place to live. He was impeding on his friend. And of course, that was my problem. And then you start doing research and you realize the discard puts it all together. Everything you've been living, you realize it's a narcissistic discard here. You've just been being devalued and love bombed, and it's cycle after cycle after cycle, the entire relationship. They leave you with nothing. No plans for the future. What you're going to do, what we're going to do about the kids, the relationships you've had with all of these people. They're smearing you and telling everybody how terrible you've been. And you're literally left suffering, betrayed, and alone. And they'll even have the audacity to come by and show you their dating apps. They'll want to come over and spend time with the kids, or like the shit that they expect us to tolerate really shows how much of just an object we are to a narcissist. But see, that's not an us problem. Narcissists view themselves as an object. You don't have empathy or care about objects. They don't care about themselves, let alone other people. Then it all starts to make sense. But man, does it take a long time to get there and realize that. I know how painful it is. No human should ever experience what it's like to love a narcissist. And somewhere during that time, you have to dig deep, find that little spark of worth that you still have left. Because let's be real, our self-esteem is shit, and it's probably the reason we stick around with these people. When your self-esteem has been trashed to nothing, of course it's hard to see a better life for yourself or a better future, or that you deserve more. But find that little spark. Being on the other side, it's so painful for me to know how many people go through this.
And I hope that being on the other side, I can let you know the best thing I did was to say, I'm done. I'm tired. And I clawed my way out. Stay free. You got this.
Let's talk about, why does a narcissist move on so fast? If you're new to hearing me speak, I used to be in an 18-year narcissistic abusive relationship, so trust and believe I know what I'm talking about. And don't forget, if you like this video, make sure you're liking and sharing. A narcissist does not move on so fast like how you think that they move on. They choose to take the easy route out. So the easy route is not taking accountability, not having to reflect, not having to look at what they did wrong to you, or what they did wrong in general to anybody in any situation. So what can they do to protect their ego? Because it's all about protecting their ego. It's all about protecting their self-image. Is run away. And how do they run away? By not taking accountability and admitting or even reflecting what they did to you in that relationship. So they choose to talk to somebody else to feed their ego, to show them that they're not the problem, that you're the problem. Show them that they are this amazing person and nothing is wrong with them. Because when they are now talking to somebody else, they're going to put on a brand new mask that is going to show this new person that they're this stand-up citizen, that they're this amazing, kind, caring, loving, just amazing person overall. Because that person knows nothing about their deeply rooted personality disorder that they have. But that does not mean that they through with you. That does not mean that they're going to be over with you. A lot of times they just be putting you on the back burner. That you are just there for when they want to, like a toy, pick you up and play with you. Because you have to understand, the narcissist, through their personality disorder, lacks empathy to even feel certain emotions that you're feeling when they decide to put you down or they decide to walk away from you for a short period of time. Because when I tell you, they always circle back around the block, majority of the times, they always circle back around the block. Now, you might think, nah, not all the time, but that just means because they ain't ready to circle back around. Sometimes it could be months. Sometimes it could be weeks. Sometimes it could be years. But if you give them that door opening, they will circle around back the block. And sometimes they could be on a full-on relationship with a new supply, married, have kids. But if you give them that opportunity, they'll circle back around the block. So you have to understand, the whole point of the narcissist, running to the new supply or moving on so quickly is so that their ego does not get bruised and they don't have to take accountability for anything that they did to you in that relationship. It is all about their self-image. It is all about protecting their selves. This is part of their personality disorder. They need to do things to always protect their self-image, protect their ego, protect themselves. And they lack empathy to even care how that's going to affect you mentally, emotionally, how it's going to hurt you. It's because it's not about you. It's never been about you, and it will never be about you. It's always about protecting themselves from ever taking accountability, because if you take accountability, you have to look inward. If you take accountability, you have to do the inner work. If you take accountability, you have to reflect. You have to feel certain emotions that they don't not want to feel. So you have to, as you understand this, you have to understand deeply rooted why they do the things that they do. Once you could stand in the facts to understanding who a narcissist is, their patterns, their tactics, you could then take that as ammunition to heal yourself, because you then understand that there was nothing else that you could have done to change that situation. There's nothing you could have done to, fix that situation. There's nothing you could have done to help that person to see their wrongdoings or what they did to you. And you just reflect to say, This person is who they are. They did what they did. Now let me work on me. Now let me heal parts within inside of myself that allowed that. And then take that and run with it and put all the focus inward on you.
Feelings of anger and rage is justified. My DMs have been filled with people who have basically all been through the same thing. They were with someone that they trusted, that they completely gave all of their love to. They gave them second chances, third chances. They tolerated that person cheating on them, messaging other people, whatever the case may be. And they all ended up with the same result. They were discarded for someone else. And I can tell you that this was bound to happen. But if you're someone that's been going through this and people are in the comment section saying, hey, you shouldn't be feeling this way, your feelings of anger and rage is justified. So if you feel like you need my platform to go ahead and vent, hey, feel free, be my guest. But I will tell you though, at some point you have to get to the root of why you chose this person and why you continue to choose these type of people to stick around in your life.
Ooh, honey, if you know, you know. But here's the thing about the discard. It was never about you. It was about them. Narcissists toss people to the side, not because they weren't good enough, but because they never truly saw you as a person with your own thoughts and feelings. You were just a plaything to them. And when they got bored, they moved on without a second thought. Yes, healing after a narcissist throws you away is tough. It's very tough. But it's your time to shine. It's your chance to rebuild, to boss up, and to remember you deserve way more than what they were giving you. I know you may feel broken right now, but remember, you're not alone. There's strength in the struggle, and you've got what it takes to rise from this. You're a whole queen, and don't you ever forget that. So please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, please. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.